you write the story as if it had already happened, but you do it in the future?
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
All right, folks, welcome to another minisode. Dustin Harris hanging out with you as I record this. It is January 2023. I know this will likely be shared in February, I think is where we are. Yes, I do pre-record episodes, and it will probably play in February. But I just came off a wonderful week spent with my family and a little time alone as well. I want to share with you what happened in that time alone. It's something I do every year, something I love to do, something that I highly recommend that you do. First, want to recommend another thing to do, and that is sign up for Spark. Spark4appraisers.com, folks. I'll tell you more about it in just a little bit. Spark4appraisers.com. All right, folks, I just got done with my vision story. What is a vision story? Well, vision stories are something that I caught wind of years ago. And I will tell you this, for years, I tried to do the whole New Year's resolution thing. And I was never very good at it. And I don't feel real guilty about that because gratefully, well, I don't know if this is good or bad, but it makes me feel better. Resolutions don't usually work for most people. In fact, I think it's by about Valentine's Day, so about February 14th, mid-February, every year, I think maybe 3%, if I remember correctly, are still working on their New Year's resolution. Not because they accomplished it in a month and a half, but because they decided to give up on it. And that was me for many, many years. And I've tried various things over the years. One of the things that was helpful, I'll give you this hint. I read a book years ago called The One Thing, I believe is the name of it. I don't remember the author. I'm sorry. You can look it up, The One Thing. And one of the things they encourage is just to have one big audacious goal, one big hairy audacious goal every year. One thing that you're going to work on, one thing you're going to accomplish. Now, the problem is, for me at least, it was, I want to get rid of this belly. I want to, that one big audacious thing was a lot of little things added up, right? Not getting another bowl of ice cream. Not ordering 24 donuts for breakfast. No, I've never done that actually. Well, I might have ordered 24 donuts, but it was for me in the office. But I might order 2 donuts, right? By the way, I've been off. Just a side note, I've been off most carbs, not all. I've indulged a little bit, but most breads and sweets since I think it was about August of 2022. And I'm still on that kick. I do feel better. I'm not losing a lot of weight. I did in the beginning, but I do feel better about myself. Feel much more energy and strength and stamina and excitement and happiness and everything else. So just to kind of announce here that if you have not done that type of a diet, I highly recommend it. It's not easy. But you get used to it. Remember, I just came off Christmas. As I'm recording this, folks, I'm literally the second day after coming back from my New Year's break. Okay, that's when we're recording this, and consequently, I can tell you that it was a wonderful break. It was not that hard. Stocking stuffers aside, treats being delivered galore. It really was not that difficult. Okay, I digress. Kind of. This still all relates to my last week. And that is, I had an opportunity to spend an afternoon by myself, which I do every year, creating my vision story. Now, I'm not going to read the vision story to you. It is personal, but I will give you the gist of it. And the gist of it is take an opportunity to turn off the computer, to turn off the internet. Now, I actually use the computer. I actually use this laptop to type my vision story, but I make sure that it's on airplane mode because I don't want any distractions. I turn off my phone. I turn my computer into airplane mode. I usually sequester myself. This year, I spent in fact, if you're looking at YouTube and you see that screensaver, that's where I spent, not that exact spot, but about 5 miles from where this picture was taken. I spent my time utilizing my space, my quietness, the fostering condition that I honored myself with, to sequester myself and be distracted with, and don't take this the wrong way, I love you, babe, but a wife, kids, neighbors, friends, you name it, right? I love all those people to death, but there is a time when you've got to step back and say, you know what, I need a little alone time right now. And I did that. I spent some alone time, spent some time thinking about where I want to see myself in a year from now. What do I want to accomplish this year? What does that look like? Now, I do things a little bit different than a New Year's resolution, and it's been very, very helpful to me over the years. And that's what I want to share with you in brief. And then I'll share with you where you can get more information if you are interested. First, I want to pause here and remind you that we are sponsored by a great company called Spark. What is Spark? Now, there's two companies that I talk about here, Spark and Synapse. They work hand in hand with one another. They are, quote unquote, the same company, but they are different products. Spark is the form filler. Spark, and don't get me wrong when I say form filler. This is information that you curtail, that you pick, that you choose, and then you click one button, and it all downloads into your report, saving you time, saving you effort, saving you energy, making you more efficient, more effective at what you do. Spark4appraisers.com. Again, it's Spark4appraisers.com. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast chair. Thank you for joining me, whether you were on YouTube or on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Especially a shout out to those of you, that are on YouTube. We've gone back to the video format. Very, very thankful for that. It's been a lot of fun. I've got a lot of great feedback from you guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you reaching out and encouraging me. It's not easy to show this face. As you can see, I have a much better radio face than I do a television face. So I appreciate you putting up with it. But it can be kind of fun to see me talk with my hands and see the studio and kind of see where things are made. It makes it a little bit more engaging. Plus, YouTube is so much easier to comment below. Like, just jump on there and make a comment. Would love to hear your feedback. Would love to hear your suggestions, your recommendations. Where did I get it wrong? Bill Johnson, hey, let me know, man. Let me have it. Would love to interact with you on that level as well. All right. Today we're talking about this vision story. And what does the vision story look like? Well, let me just give you the gist of it. Okay. Instead of setting goals, instead of setting New Year's resolutions, instead of doing the one thing for the year, years ago, I started doing a vision story. This is not something I thought up. Now, I cannot point to a book or a resource or anything else. I do believe Leslie Householder was probably the first person that turned me on to this idea, but I even do this different than she teaches it. But it's very similar. And the idea is this, that you write the story as if it had already happened, but you do it in the future. Let me repeat that. You write a story about yourself in the future as if it has already happened. Now, I know that can be a little bit confusing, so let me describe it this way. When I sat down a couple of days ago and I had about 3 hours in the afternoon with no distractions, again, turned off the phone, I put the computer on airplane mode, and I spent time with myself. I was in a cabin all by myself in, again, let me go back here and show you. Damn it, I knew I was going to choose the wrong camera. All the cameras are labeled HD Pro Webcam 920, and I always get the wrong one. Okay, there it is. So that scene right there is in a place called Island Park, Idaho. That is a real picture that is not doctored. There are no filters there. I did not take it. I wish I could claim, but you see the moose here, you see the snow behind, the trees, and the water, and the beautiful sunset. I was there during that sunset. I know the day this guy took this. I was there. It was absolutely gorgeous. But he is an incredible photographer, and it became my new screensaver. But this is where I spent time. And I was alone for about 3 hours. And I shut off distractions. And I thought to myself, Dustin, what do you want in 2023? If you could look back on 2023, it being December 30th, 2023, or December 31st, right? Right before the new year of 2024, what would you like to say happened that you were happy about? That you could say, you know what, this was a successful year. And really, that is the gist of a vision story. Now, the way it's done in my book is this. I start with a document, and I actually put a date on there that is in the future. So I wrote in there January 31st, 2023. Okay. You all know that date has not happened yet, but I write the letter to myself as if it did. And I usually start with these words. I am so thankful and grateful that ... ellipsis. I am so thankful and grateful that ... And that's when you fill in the ... You talk about it as if it happened. So let's say, for example, I want to make $1 million this year, right? Instead of setting a goal, make $1 million this year, my vision story would say, I am so grateful and thankful that I was able to make $1 million this year. And then you might go on to talk about how you did it and what you did to accomplish it. And then you might talk about the relationship with your spouse and each of your children and your health and your finances and your retirement and your trips. I'm so grateful that we were able to go to Europe in June. Whatever it is that you want to happen this year, you write it down as if it already happened. Folks, I don't know what it is about that experience, but it helps me to get there better. Better than setting goals that may or may not happen, I write them as if they already have. And I'm telling you, folks, it makes all the difference in the world. It really has in my life. I highly recommend it. Here's how you can learn more. In January, we held a mastermind, if you will, an online meeting with the coach, where live I present, and I'm saying this as if it already happened, when I'm actually recording this before it happens. But by the time this airs, it will be there on my website for you as a member of the All-Star team to pick up for free. Any of my meetings, my webinars are 100% free on the internet if you sign up for the All-Star team. I highly recommend that you do that and go through January's meeting, which was creating your vision story. Thank you for joining me today. Whether you be listening or watching, I appreciate it. Go out there, create some value, folks. We will catch you next time.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.